What's up, people? Motuser13, and I just thought I'd get you guys up on the retro reviews because let me just explain to you about what these retro reviews are about. We all know that the PS3 is coming up. Games are coming out the ass for the PS3 in the fall, and for the 360, and for the Wii. I mean, the games of the list just keeps growing for these games. I mean, there's Gears of War 2, Fable 2, Resistance 2, freaking Little Big Planet. There's so many games that are coming out in the fall that we need to jump on. So right now I'm just going to give you guys a little rundown of the retro versions of the new games that are coming out, like if you haven't played them or if you want to figure out like if they're good or not, and maybe you should get the newer ones that are coming out. But yeah, let me give you guys a rundown. First off, it's for you, DMC fan 955, God of War 1 and 2. Now, when I first picked this game up, I was a little skeptical about it because I was like a big Devil May Cry fan, you know. God of War just seemed like a knockoff, but let me tell you what, this is not a knockoff. God of War and God of War 2, probably one of the greatest action games I've ever played. They had story, they had memorable characters. I mean, Kratos. At one point, I was just running around saying like I'm the God of War because Kratos was just so badass at what he did, and which was mainly destroying people. But hey, somebody's got to do it. You can't just have like normal people do it. This guy had the spirit and he had the will. I mean, he accidentally killed his own freaking family to get this way. So I mean, you have to do what you have to do. Try to get at the God of War. The story is great. The first one is him trying to kill the God of War. The second one is about him trying to get back at Zeus because he did him shady at the end of it in the beginning of the first one. Or the second one, did him so shady in the beginning of the second one. So yeah, if you were looking for a game to pick up, God of War 2. God of War is pretty good. It's a classic. You have to play this one because if you want to know the story. But God of War 2, it has a lot more in it and a lot more things you can do. And that one's an even better version of this one. But we all just have to look for God of War 3 for PS3. That game is about to blow everything out the water that God of War used to be and what God of War stands for. Just like Devil May Cry 4 came out, it's going to be God of War 3. It's about to be one of the greatest games ever. So pick it up when you see it. I know I'm going to get it. Pick up God of War if you don't have it already. God of War 2. They're great games. Rent them, buy them, play them, own them. Let's get to the next one. Resident Evil 4. I remember I got this for Christmas a couple of Christmases back, and this was probably the ultimate experience I've ever had with Resident Evil 4. To this date, up to this game, I had never beaten a Resident Evil because it was pretty much just after my time, or before my time. It was before my time. And up to the point I was like playing Resident Evil 2, I never really played Resident Evil 3, and I just couldn't get through them. I was just like, whatever. But I did beat Resident Evil Survivor, which was okay. It took me like 6 hours to beat. Me and my cousin were just running through it. We weren't even like bothering to pick up the items or anything. We were just trying to shoot our way through. But Resident Evil 4 has a great storyline. Leon's back, and I really liked Leon in Resident Evil 2. That was the game I played the most of, so I was like, alright, I'm going to try this out. And people said it was great because it had the over-the-shoulder, which owns, because a lot of people are starting to do it now. I mean, the over-the-shoulder tactic, whoever thought of that, I give you kudos to that, because the over-the-shoulder owns completely. We all know Metal Gear Solid 4 owning with the over-the-shoulder. I mean, I barely even go in the first-person mode unless I need a real accurate shot. I'm always over-the-shoulder because you got the laser sight, which owns. But yeah, Resident Evil 4, because we all know Resident Evil 5 is coming up. Chris Redfield is back, finally. I mean, he was probably the only person I played in the first one because Jill was like the master of unlocking. I'll never still get over that line. People get on him for saying that line, Barry, and Capcom for making that line, but it was a really stupid line. Like, you, a lockpick, the master of unlocking. No, really? What does a lockpick do? Yeah, Resident Evil 5 is going to be in Africa, and you're going to have, like, I heard 30 enemies on the screen at one time. And I don't know how that's going to put your nerves, like, on edge when you're playing that game, but it should be pretty fun playing that at night pretty much all the time. Next we have, finally, Prince of Persia: Sands Time. This game didn't sell well when it came out because everybody was like, oh yeah, this is blah blah blah, whatever. I got it. I loved it, and when the second one came out, that's when I was like, alright, the Prince owns. I love the Prince. The third one, it was pretty good, but not as good as the first. The second one, I think, I mean, it had a lot of new things that you could do with like the Dark Prince and like using the whip thing that he had, I'm not sure what it's called, and doing all the sneak and stealth attacks. That was pretty fun because I'm a big man on stealth, hitman, no gear, you know. But this is a great game, had a great story. The whole time system with the recall, slow down, fighting enemies, taking sand, that's fun. And although this one, the combat system is a little weak because you can just flip over people like during the first half of the game and kill them, but that can be overlooked because of the great storyline. But the second one makes it a lot harder, and it's harder difficulty, so you can jump on that. But yeah, the new Prince, I'm not sure if it's going to be the Prince. It looks like a different Prince, and I guess that's okay as long as he's still got that badass motivation. I'm not trying to have like a different character for a character I've seen for 3 games and he's just going to switch it. It's not the best way to go, but whatever. But before I end this, I'm going to give you guys a game that you should never buy, that should never, ever even be thought about getting. Hold on, let me get it for you. Worst game in existence. Orphan, the scion of sorcery. Now, my friend gave this to me because I'm a big RPG buff, and he was like, hey, yeah, come on, play this game. I mean, it's real fun. And I was like, alright, I'm gonna try it out. Battle system sucks. Story was like pretty much non-existent. And I got to the first cutscene, hour into the game, of the in-game cutscenes, and it froze on me. And after that point, I was waiting for something to break the stick. I mean, I was still there, but it was bent and broken, but I mean, I couldn't put it down. But then as soon as that froze, I was like, alright, fuck this game. I'm never playing it again. The most that this game could be used for is a coaster. Use the disc as a coaster and the box for something else you need a game for. Maybe that game doesn't have a case. Use this case. I only have this just so I can tell people not to get it. I mean, it's a classic hated game. And I mean, I guess I'm honored to have it, but I'm really pissed that they created it. It's like they said, here's $10, make a game, and they use that $10 to go get a sandwich, and now they have this. So that's my retro review. Look forward to more, and look forward to more games that you should never buy or even look at. Mostly can be used as a coaster. That's what a crappy game is. Definition of a crappy game, look it up in the dictionary. It's a coaster. Or a coaster is a crappy game. Doesn't matter. But thanks for watching. I'll be hitting you guys up with more retro reviews, more regular reviews, more gaming rants, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Look forward to more of me. I'll definitely look forward to more of you guys. Peace.